Hello folks and welcome to the channel. In today's video I'll explore a few techniques that I've used on this Tony Ray Tiger Moth to mask and paint the project up. It's in Finnish colours. If you want to see how I've got on, what's worked, what's been a little bit problematic, then all you need is your favourite tipple in hand. Sit back and let's get creative. So one of the last jobs I have to do is to transfer this Hakaristi, which is the Finnish word for swastika, it literally means hook cross, onto the roundels. Did a bit of research and found out the exact proportions. So it needs to go on here. Now I'm not sure whether it goes like that or if it's slightly canted to allow for the swept back of the wings. I'll see if I can find any hint, although I think the chances of finding that are going to be pretty slim. And I'll mask this up and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. It may be airbrushed, it may be painted by hand actually, but on the upper surface and the lower surface, one of the last painting jobs to do. I've painted the underside of the fuselage now. This access hatch will be finely covered, and I think I may make a hatch there when the tank is installed, and I'm still waiting for somebody to drop one off to see they've got one that'll fit. So we'll see. Let's crack on with the marking out and the masking of the hook cross. Well, I think I've made a decision with this. The crooked cross is going to be set totally horizontal. I'm not going to cant it over to allow for the sweep of the wings, because I can't really get any definitive proof that that was the case, and also I think it just confuses the issue somewhat regarding the provenance of the Finnish swastika. So the first thing I'm going to do, it's basically drawn in a square, and I'm going to try and mask it up on that basis. So the first thing is I'm going to produce the square. That's the first step to doing this, and then I'll put these inserts in, and that should create an accurate shape. Should do. I'm starting with the upper wing. In some ways it's the easiest to contemplate, in others it's the most difficult. Easiest because it's not affected by any ailerons. The Tiger Moth only has them on the lower wing. More difficult because I've put the rib taping on the upper wings only, because that's where you see them, and that's going to create, that's not good, that's going to create a problem sealing the tape. I think I might have a solution to it, but we'll see. Proof is in the pudding, as they say, or proof is in the eating, one of the two. So creating the square first, and then I'll measure this. It's 2 centimeters wide, the tape, so I'll cut it from this. Right, let's check this out, see if it looks right. Well, straight away it looks wrong to me, because that one's too high up, it's too close to the edge. Let's bring it in a little. I always find this rewarding, but at the same time nerve-wracking. It's easy to get it wrong, and if I get it wrong, well, it's wrong. I've got to start all over again. think that looks better. I'm simply looking at the gap here. Okay, so that's that. Now, off camera, I'm going to cut out some tape that's 2 centimetres wide and then try to lay this up as accurately as I can. And I've got 4 of these to do, so I'll show you one being done. And then after that, we can start pulling this model together, I think. There's still a few little things to do, obviously, but I think we can start reconstructing it. Back in a moment, folks. Well, after a couple of aborted attempts, I'm happy enough with that. I'm going to seal all the edge with white acrylic before I paint the blue on. That way I'm going to seal the edge of the tape and hopefully any creep won't be noticeable. Onwards and upwards, folks. Well, here we go, moment of truth. I'm anticipating a little bit of bleed, hopefully not excessively so. And I can touch, yeah, I can touch those little hairline parts up with the white, I hope. Time will tell. Yeah, a little bit. It's about what I would have expected, I think, going over. That bit's a bit of a bugger. But, you know, see what the finished product looks like, not the part made stew. Here we go, 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 here we go. Yeah, a few disappointing parts there, but I'll touch those up and then come back and we'll see what it looks like when it's all done. Well, there we have it, panic over, a little bit of touching up, and I'm quite happy with that. So that's one down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go because there are 2 on the fuselage as well. Once they're all done, we'll pull everything together or start to pull it together. I don't know why I didn't use this before, but I've remembered the use of sponges and using stencils. I wish I'd thought of it when I was doing the Hakaristi on the wings, but never mind. I've done them on the side here with much better results. So basically it's a dab, remove the excess, and then using the sponge to apply the paint onto the surface, and there's much less chance of bleed doing it this way. I'll carry on and show you the result. Right, let's see if this has come out okay. There you go. I wish I'd done it with the other insignia, but there you go, it's done. Right, I think there is numbering to go on there. I don't know whether I'll do that now, but I think we're about ready to start pulling things together. Right then, paintwork's done. For good or for ill, I'm sure there's going to be continued controversy over the symbols, but you know, they are what they are and they're not what you think they are. That's what I've been saying to some people. Now let's start putting some of the bits back on this model. I've got the fuel tank in. I've added the bracing wires for the cabin. I may take them out and replace them with slightly finer ones. It's nowhere near as daunting as I thought it might be. A bit like Cliff Harvey, who said he was sort of dreading it. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. So let's start putting the bits together. The backrests, get those glued in. And this also has the optional seating kit, and I've managed to place, excuse the arm as I put this in. I've managed to get all the radio gear underneath the seating. It was a bit of a tight squeeze, but I managed to do it. Here you have the cockpit dashboard, which is really rather fine, I think. Tony Ray has done a really nice job of producing that. Let's glue that in, because I can now. This is the one for the pilot rather than the student. Just drop it in. It'd be best to get it square as I can. That'll do. That looks rather good, doesn't it? There's the anti-neck breaker, whatever you call it, here. That needs to be glued on. Get some glue on there. Now, the only trouble with doing a project that spreads out over a period of time is that the glazing for the windshields has been gobbled up somewhere. Can I hellfire find it? But that is what it is. There you go. Let's build up the rear cockpit first. So we've also got these doors to fit on. Now I'm going to go with possibly gluing these on, or I may have them in the open position. I haven't decided yet. Let's get the screws handy. I think they were only little ones. I'll sort out the screws for this, and then we'll come back and I'll start putting them on. So there we have the doors fitted. As you can see, they're sort of springing out. They need a bit tweaking. But I'm never going to open and shut them, so they'll either be in the open position, which sort of appeals, or they'll be glued shut. I haven't made my mind up yet. I have to do the same for the front cockpit, which I'll do now. I may screw the dashboard on there so I can remove it to have access to the tank rather than glue it in place. And I have there's a access hatch for storage of bits and bobs that needs to be done. Then I'll put all the seats in and we'll see what it looks like. Here I've temporarily put on the undercarriage because it'll all have to come back off again for fuel proofing, and I need to put a hatch in here. As you can see, it's sprung. It looks quite delicate, but once all the screws are in, they're not all in at the moment, it's quite robust. So if we flick it over, there we go. Zoom out a little. Let's put the cowl on. Obviously minus the engine at the moment. Give you a feel of what it looks like. Let's do this properly. I'll screw it on and then we'll come back. Well, there we go, folks. Who doesn't love a mock-up? Obviously, there are no struts added. Nothing's bolted in at the moment. Everything's just pushed together to give you a feel of what it's like. I know for a fact that the Hakaristi, the crooked hook emblems will cause controversy, but I think it's a big mistake because historically these have nothing to do with the National Socialist Party of Germany. They're preceded by some time. 1918 was the beginning of the use of this symbol by the finish. And also it's different. If you look very closely, it's horizontal. It's not at 45 degrees. It's blue. It's not black. It has a very different meaning to the Finnish Air Force. Although it fell out of use shortly after the end of the Second World War, it still can be found in some badge insignia in Finland, I believe. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm sure that it will cause controversy. It's not an attempt to be deliberately provocative. I just think that's a cool scheme. Let's have a closer look at the interior. If I zoom in on it, I think it looks nice with the doors to the cabin open, the access hatches open, and the dashboard produced by Tony as part of the standard Tony Ray kit, I think really makes this pop. These front doors will, I think, be glued closed. You can see there's a little chip of paint to be touched up there. But overall, I'm very, very pleased with the look of this model. I hope you think it looks cool too, and I hope you found the journey regarding the masking and the use of this graffiti paint informative. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done so. If you can get flying and you're lucky enough to have sunny days without it blowing a hoolie, as it is here, then get out flying. But if you can't, then you can always be creative, folks.